The Los Angeles Clippers are at a tipping point. The arrival of James Harden and the ongoing anticipation surrounding the Kawhi Leonard-Paul George partnership could either lead to remarkable success or a significant setback in LA. The Clippers have once again revamped their approach, and the initial results are raising doubts. The addition of the former MVP James Harden generated considerable public attention, but the overall sentiment has been mostly negative. The negativity intensified after the team experienced a 6-game losing streak immediately after the trade, raising concerns about potential chemistry issues. A recent defeat against a shorthanded Nuggets team further exposed the team's struggles. The Nuggets were playing without their 3 best players, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Aaron Gordon, and 2 of their bench vets stepped up. Against their former team, Reggie Jackson and DeAndre Jordan outperformed, combining for 56 points, while Paul George struggled with just 2 made shots in 37 minutes. Then, the team faced another blow last night when they seemed like they had a chance to overtake the Warriors, but couldn't make the final push. Despite having 2 former MVP winners, a 2-time Finals MVP, and an MVP finalist, the Clippers find themselves at a crossroads. 4 of the next 6 games are against teams with losing records, and while the Clippers are currently 2 games under 500, they have an opportunity to climb their way up the Western Conference standings, but even that seems unlikely. The original strategy for the Clippers involved pairing Harden and Westbrook in the starting backcourt, an exciting prospect given their reputations and potential chemistry, having played together on 2 different teams before LA. The aim was to create a potent combination of passing and scoring, but unfortunately, that plan quickly lost its luster, and the issue seemed obvious. Both players have almost always played with the ball in their hands, with high usage throughout their careers. Harden excelled in scoring off the dribble, while Westbrook, not known for his shooting prowess, struggled when left without the ball, often standing on the perimeter. After just 6 games, a decision was reached. Russell Westbrook would come off the bench. However, the question arises, is this truly the optimal strategy? Before Harden's arrival, Westbrook was fitting in with the starting unit and was doing so well, contributing to the Clippers' 11-5 record in the latter part of last season. And then in a playoff loss to the Suns, Westbrook emerged as the team's standout player in the absence of George, and for most games, Leonard. And even this season, the Clippers experienced success with Westbrook as a starter before the Harden trade. Westbrook, with ball handling responsibilities, operated as a facilitator, despite occasional recklessness, a cost that has always been a part of his game. Since Westbrook's move to the bench, Harden has taken on a pass-heavy role with the starters. The challenge isn't so much about Harden fitting in with the starting lineup, it's about Westbrook finding chemistry with the reserves. While Westbrook, given his shooting struggles, is unable to be a traditional 6-man coming off the bench firing shots, Harden could potentially shine in that role. Offering him the green light with the second unit could see him average a high number of points and enhance his teammates' performance through his elite passing and playmaking. However, the likelihood of Harden willingly accepting a bench role is slim, considering his status as James Harden.
I'm not a system player, I am a system. You know what I mean?
But beyond the starter versus bench debate lies a more crucial question. What lineup should the Clippers play in crunch time? Who should be on the floor to finish games? Here's the intriguing scenario for the Clippers. They have the luxury of 4 highly skilled players adept at creating opportunities, especially off the dribble. But on the flip side, the challenge lies in having exactly that. 4 dynamic players who thrive in isolation situations. Their style of play leans heavily on isolation, where the floor is spread and a player takes on a defender one-on-one. The Clippers currently hold the 2nd spot in total isolation possessions this season, a notable increase from their 6th place ranking last season. Leonard, George, Harden, and Westbrook are all capable at excelling in breaking down their own defender, but perhaps not with the same ferocity as they did 4 or even 5 years ago. However, the concern arises when considering how often the team engages in structured plays. Traditional plays involve player movement, ball circulation, and strategic shots after several passes, an approach not consistently seen with these Clippers. A prime example of their offensive structure can be seen in their first win after acquiring Harden. Against the Houston Rockets, in a tie game with about 17 seconds remaining, the Clippers decided to have Kawhi Leonard take the final shot. And after a hesitation and step back, Leonard saw that the open look wasn't there, after being well defended by Smith Jr., so he passed the ball to Harden. At this point, Kawhi floats to the corner, Zubac is in the paint, and both Powell and George are standing in place along the three-point line. Harden is given the ball with 4.9 seconds left on the shot clock, and then he bailed out Kawhi and the Clippers.
Harden, this is for the lead. Oh, he put it in! Count it and a foul!
While an isolation play like this is not uncommon in the final seconds of the game, this type of approach is seen repeatedly throughout Clippers games, especially throughout the fourth quarter. Kawhi Leonard seems like the go-to guy in the team, but the Clippers often look like they're taking turns playing iso ball. Of course, not having training camp with Harden gives some explanation to the improvisational style, but right now the team seems to still be learning each other, learning their team identity. One noteworthy achievement for the Clippers this year is that Leonard and George have been present in every one of the team's 18 games to date. This marks a significant improvement for a franchise that previously struggled to keep both players on the court simultaneously. However, despite this positive note, the Clippers find themselves with a subpar record this season. This outcome is particularly disappointing, given that Leonard and George were specifically crafted on this team to weather any weaknesses. These two players were envisioned as the team's security blanket, the duo capable of resolving any obstacle. But contrary to expectations, the losing record cannot be solely attributed to Westbrook and Harden. Leonard and George share a large portion of the responsibility. Paul George's performance has been notably inconsistent, disappearing against the Nuggets following back-to-back impressive games, where he combined for 59 points against the Mavericks and Pelicans. But even last night against the Warriors, George had 15 points on just 33% shooting. While Leonard has maintained a solid level of play, he's dropped to just 21.9 points per game, well below his career high of 27 points per game a few years ago. After enduring 4 seasons of falling short, primarily due to injuries, the Clippers are in dire need of healthy and productive contributions from Leonard and George. So far, their availability has been more consistent than their on-court effectiveness, but it's still early in the season. Now, usually this question is asked in the summer, but is it time for the Clippers to try something totally new? Is this season win or bust? Acquiring George from Oklahoma City, and consequently Leonard, came at a substantial cost. They sacrificed Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, committed to 5 first-round picks, 2 first-round swaps, and solidified the deal with lucrative extensions for both George and Leonard. Effectively, the Clippers invested heavily in their future for these two standout players, both of whom have an option to opt out this summer, but that seems unlikely. Adding to the complexity, Harden's contract concludes this summer, and Westbrook has one more season following the current one. Maybe not this year, but the Los Angeles Clippers could look very different in the near future. But with the level of talent on the Clippers and other solid pieces, it's hard to predict what the full season will look like. How far do you see the Clippers going? Could they finally make a championship run? Let us know in the comments, and please subscribe. Thanks for watching Basketball Pantheon.